Hey man, this this game ain't even worth breaking down that much, my boy. This is sad. That was sad. That was awful. That was a joke of a team. Um, that was a team that showed you no fight. By the way, appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. I don't know why the volume cut up on there. We don't want y'all to miss a thing, so make sure that y'all hit that bell. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports. How Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us. No fight, no heart, no want to. I knew that Billy wasn't going to play them a ton of minutes, right? But you thought that at a minimum, they would have had the heart to want to come out and compete early, right? Your starters come out and they try to punch him in the mouth. Your starters come out and they try to have the upper hand, get this game. Your starters showed you nothing. First quarter, you scored 19 points. Now in the second quarter, you started getting it going a little bit offensively, right? But even then, defensively at that point, you had nothing. Defensively at that point, you had nothing. Defensively, this whole game, you had nothing. And it continues to show that this team is not on the level of these teams that are above them. I mean, you got beat consistently at every part of this game. Celtics shot at 49% from the field. They shot at 46% from the three-point line. They outboarded you 42-40, pretty close there, 8-7. But when you have 10 turnovers in the first half, dog, you're not going to win many games. When you have 10 turnovers in the first half, you're not going to win many games. When you start the game off with 10 turnovers and they take advantage of those turnovers and score on just about every one of them, yeah, you're not going to win many games. It's still a step in the right direction, but heart, bro. Heart. Where's the heart? Where's the fight? Where's the want to? Where's the will? The baseball season starts up Friday. Where's the TWTW? There's nothing to show that this team was prepared for the moment of tonight. They played worse than they did last night defensively. Now, granted, second of a back-to-back, I get that. That's why you didn't see them as much in the second half. That's why you didn't see them like it was like, hey, make a run or we're pulling the plug. That's essentially what it became. Make a run or we're pulling the plug. Because I'm not gonna, at a minimum, the best thing we can do is rest you guys heading into the playoffs, right? At a minimum, right now, the best thing we can do is give you guys some rest heading into the playoffs. So I'm not gonna run you to death. But the thing that I've said and the thing that I've consistently seen is that you don't have the heart versus these teams. You're not, aren't you embarrassed, dog? Like, you're not embarrassed that teams are putting their foot in your butt like this. That's a problem. You're not upset that teams are putting their foots in your butt like this. That's a problem. You're coming out consistently in these games on the losing end of them. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say about 19 of them this season are blowouts. I mean, honestly, it's not like you're coming into these games and you're competing. Like, here's the thing: I can deal with competing. I can deal with competing. I can deal with you not being talented enough on a night in, night out basis, but you're showing me heart. I can deal with you not being talented enough to beat these teams yet because it is a process. I can deal with that. I'm okay with you not having the talent right now. What I'm not okay with is this team from top to bottom, seemingly not having the heart to want, not being self motivated enough to be like, maybe we should stop getting our butts kicked by these teams that keep coming out and putting their foot in our cheeks. Early. Early. You're not embarrassed? You're not upset. You can't be that upset. It can't be hurting you that much. Because you're not doing nothing about it. 48 people in here, 13 likes, man. Hit that like button. Let's get these likes up. We got Billy at the podium here. I think we got Billy Donovan at the podium. Billy at the podium right now. He looks shell-shocked right now, dog. Let's hear what he's talking about.
Answers right now? No, I think that, again, I've said this before. To me, you have to, as crazy as it sounds, you have to go through significant adversity, challenges, whatever difficulties, whatever you want to call it, because you have to be able to dig down deeper inside. And I do think, in a lot of ways, the road this time of year for any team is never easy. It's really hard, and you have to be kind of battle tested, and you got to be a little bit hardened, and you got to be scarred. And that's why I said, I think coming out of the All-Star break, that I was happy our schedule was as difficult as it was, because I knew if we were fortunate enough as we are today to be into the playoffs, it's only getting harder. The worst thing for our team would have been to have the easiest schedule and be on a big time run. Like we're finding out, playing against Miami, the number one seed in the East, Boston and Milwaukee, fighting for seeds, between second, third, and fourth. So these are teams that you could potentially face, and we need to understand exactly what we could potentially be walking into. And you're going to have to fight, because certainly for us, I think at times offensively, it has been a struggle, for us to score.
Right.
And, we've got to find, different ways to score. But I do think when we've had guys in and out like Zach and Alex, and it's going to impact the scoring some. But it's the other things. It's the precision on offense, precision on defense, the competing and battling and fighting for, really what you're doing in a lot of ways. You're fighting on easy baskets. You're fighting on offensive rebounds. You're fighting in transition. You're fighting to guard the ball so you don't give up drives. Like what you're really trying to do is take away easy baskets. And generally what happens this time of year when you get teams that are really good is easy baskets are hard to come by. And the more that you can generate and manufacture, I think whatever team can do that generally has a huge advantage.
You've been talking about going through these experiences and becoming battle tested and facing adversity for a while now. Do you have enough time, with only 2 games left in the regular season and then that week of practice, to apply the lessons you hope you're learning to this year's playoffs? Or are you talking about this being a gradual process for, next year?
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, you want to be able to do. These guys have worked really, really hard to get to this point, to give themselves an opportunity, in a week or 10 days or whenever it is we would play, after the regular season's over. But it's, I mean, when you're going through this, like, and I think some of our guys, it's new. Like our starting point guard has never played an NBA season before. You know what I mean? And he's done a lot of great things for us, Io. But this is like all new. For Patrick Williams has been out for 5 months. And I'm not like at all saying like today or yesterday or the game before that has anything to do with those two guys. What I am saying is there is a growth period that you have to become, tougher, nastier, you just become hard and you understand what it's about, and the way, Milwaukee's screening on us last night, the way to what Darnell's saying, like Brown and Tatum are put like that's coming every single possession. And I think there's a little bit of I don't want to say eye-opening, but it's a little bit like, wow, like I think I'm playing hard, but it's not good enough, And I think these moments where you're playing against really good quality teams, you're going to have to, like, I don't know, you just get to a point where it's like, like it's enough, and you're battling. Like someone said, what are you competing for? You're competing for everything on every single possession. You're competing on the screen. Okay, you're competing to get out there and contest. You're competing on the glass. You're competing. Everything is that. And when it can't be, I forgot to get back in transition. I lost sight of my man. I forgot to block out. Oh, I was a silly foul. I left my feet. Like those things inevitably add up over a period of time. And you can't get by on that. There's got to be like precision and concentration, focus, and this like just this intense focus.
There it is.
And we've got to get that. And I don't feel like we have that.
That's the call out.
And we've got to get that.
That's the call
there's
out.
Just like this elite, like laser focus of moment by moment playing what is going on now. And I think for, some of our guys, this is kind of like, wow. And we've got to get better at it. And we've got to put more into it. And I've loved these guys and they've been great. And I think what they're going through is going to be really, really valuable in terms of helping them grow. But there's a lot that goes into this, and it can't be, it's all right. I'm sorry, my fault. No, like those things add up over a period of time.
That's the call.
You've been very real about this team at odd moments. I say that respectfully. Like we came out of protocols, the team was hotter than anybody. You're like, hey, I was watching defensive slippage while I was in the protocols, right? Then around the All-Star break, there was that win streak. You're like, this is unsustainable shooting, people. I mean, like you've called it like so. With all that said, did you think it would drop to where you're at now, though? I mean, these losses, again, respectfully, are not competitive losses. I mean, so did you think it would go from where that was then to now?
I think what happens is when you're winning, you have a false sense and a false reality of who you are. And I think when you're losing, you have a false sense of reality of who you are. That's what ends up happening. And you've got to be able to fall back into, some common core beliefs of knowing exactly what you have to do.
But I don't know what I'm talking
about. It's easy.
How long have I been saying this?
To compete when everything's good. I think what happens sometimes, Casey, is the schedule falls crazy. And what I mean by that is you get like 3 really, really good teams in a row and you drop all 3. You've lost 3 in a row. And then the schedule kind of falls and you win 8 in a row, but what I was excited about when I said come out of the All-Star break, we had the toughest schedule of any team in the league. I love that. I think that was great for this group. And I saw all this coming. I'm not surprised one bit. We have got to, it's never this easy. It just is never this easy. And it is such a struggle. You're talking about the best basketball players in the world, the best players in the world. I mean, it's, to think, oh, this is, no. And like I said, we're not as bad as we've played. We're not. But, we probably weren't as good. We won an 8 or 9 game winning streak. Probably the truth is somewhere in the middle. But what ends up happening is there's like a determination, a fight, a competitiveness that you have to have this time of year because you are dealing on margins. That's what you're fighting for margins. And to your point, when we have these huge losses, why we have huge losses? Because Milwaukee and Boston understand the margins and they're fighting like crazy for them. And we've gotten dominated on the margins. That's why we've lost.
Talk to these mugs, Billy.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Talking. That's what I want to see. What I've been saying all year. What do you fall back on when you get into adversity? What do you fall back on when you get into adversity? This Bulls team don't have nothing to fall back on. This Bulls team don't have nothing to fall back on right now. They don't have that fight. You got to have something to fall back on. And yeah, when they went through that 8-game streak, they probably, you know, like he said, they weren't as good as we all thought they were. They probably weren't as good as they thought they were. 9-game win streak, whatever it was. But you gotta have something to fall back on. You got to show that you got a little bit of fight in you. Right now, the Bulls don't have no fight. They don't have nothing to fall back on. Like he said, the little things that they do, they're not fighting over the screen. You can't be dropping off all these excuses, dog. You can't be dropping off all of these excuses. Oh, we're not in the, you know what I'm saying? We didn't fight over the screen on defense on that one. We didn't get out there on and play tough enough on that one. We didn't get over the top on that one. We didn't. Come on, bro. Now, in this one, I kind of expected them not to play him as much. But, dog, DeMar DeRozan has 16 points in the game. I get Zach LaVine is hurt. He's resting. He's got the sore knee. He played through it, whatever it is. 2 for 9. 7 points in the game. Nikola Vucevic, 5 for 13. 13 points in the game. Now, if you look at it, really, he didn't play none of these mugs besides DeMar. 25 minutes is crazy. He sat them mugs down and said, hey, get up out of there. But, bro, like there's nothing for this team to fall back on. Kobe White had a decent shooting night tonight, but he had 10 points. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that you need, there's fundamentals that you need to be able to fall back into that the Bulls don't have yet. Will they have them? Will they be able to get them? Will they gain something from it in the playoffs? We're going to see. But I like hearing him say, hey, listen, it doesn't matter what we put together if you're not going to fight for it. It doesn't matter what we draw up in practice. It doesn't matter what we go into this week of practice with in between the game and playoffs if you're not going to fight for it. And I told y'all, I'm not a head in the sand Bulls fan. I'm on board with Billy saying, I like that we got a tough schedule coming down this stretch. I'm not a head in the sand Bulls fan. You know why? I want to know what's wrong with my team. Billy Donovan want to know what's wrong with his team. You can't be running out there every single game versus these teams that are much better than you and not understand how to make the basics work. Not understand that you're not better than these teams and you got to fight 3 times as hard to be on the same level as these teams. I love hearing Billy Donovan call him out like that, and I think this is the first time we've really heard him. I'm not going to say it's the first time. Billy Donovan is a really honest coach. I ain't going to lie to you. He going to these post-game shows. And if y'all listen to him in these post-game shows, bro, he really tell you what's really happening. KC is right. KC, absolutely. Billy Donovan went into the All-Star break and was like, we're probably not as good as we think we are. And we were winning like 8 games in a row at that time. He's like, we're probably not that good. You don't shoot this well. Nobody shoots this well. But when Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, when they're struggling, what can they lean on? When somebody comes out and punches you in the mouth, what do they lean on? ISO ball. Especially Zach and DeMar. They lean on the ISO ball. How's the ISO ball going to work? How's the ISO ball going to get you back into it? How's the ISO ball get everybody else involved into it, right? And what did we say? When we saw this team start to move the ball into Vooch, and Vooch was the one facilitating, all of a sudden, the offense opened up. All of a sudden, we could play again. And then guys started missing shots. And then you start to see Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, those guys missing shots. Like he said, I love that. I love that. I love that he just said that, and he's been real about it. What are the intangibles that you're going to lean on? What are the things you're going to fight on? And you can't come back and be like, my bad, coach, I missed that. My bad, coach, I lost sight of him. And that's what we've been seeing all year on the corner threes. He just validated everything we all been saying. How long we all been saying, hey, maybe they should guard a corner three? My bad, coach, I missed that one. I lost sight of him. You got to go through these adversities to get to that point. But I feel good hearing that Billy Donovan is seeing the same things and hearing the same things that we see and hearing. Because when we look at this team, we're saying the same things. Why the heck are they not getting out there? You can't see them? I see them, but I'm looking in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man. And it tells you a lot. It tells you what Billy D thinks about how we're playing right now. It tells you a lot about this Bull squad right now. It does. It tells you a lot about what could happen in these playoffs, man. Let's listen in on Zach LaVine at the podium here.
Trying to get this one. Did I read that correct?
Yeah, I tried to. Obviously, it didn't work. Tried.
What about the start, Zach, for you? I mean, look like, correct me if I'm wrong, look like you came out a little more assertive trying to get this one. Did I read that correct?
Yeah, I tried to. Obviously, it didn't work. Tried to, get it going early. It didn't happen, but it's hard to play when we're disconnected like this, and the result shows.
Disconnected.
Offensively and defensively, we're disconnected right now. We have to find our rhythm within these next 2 games.
What discouraging is it to go through these 3 games?
73 and 26 likes. Hit that like button, man.
Just not even really be that competitive.
I mean, it's obviously not fun. But it's we gotta find some fight within these next couple of games before it hits real time. And it's definitely gonna come to the light if we don't.
I think you guys could have been doing better defensively at the start of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we could be doing better. I just think that they got a lot of easy looks and they made us take a lot of tough shots. And it's a tale of 2 stories. So we gotta figure it out some way somehow. And we try to switch up schemes. I think we did a good job prepping for it, but obviously our intensity and the way we came out wasn't the right way, and it just snowballed.
You agree with Billy that the tough schedule is a good thing for you all? Losing these games yeah, you guys are learning through the losses, but could this young team stand to benefit from some wins, even against lesser competition?
Take a win whenever you can. It's hard to beat the worst team in the NBA. Granted, the toughest teams in the NBA. So, um, we're just going out there, and at this point right now, with these games left, we're just trying to catch a rhythm. It don't matter who we play or, when we play, we gotta get back on track.
Like the losses are doing to a group of guys who haven't been together.
Hopefully, it's making us, light a fire under some guys and really open our eyes to see how good we are and to make everybody look in the mirror and figure out what I can do to help us get better at this point.
Anything outside of like maybe the mental or emotional game right now that you're trying to like sort of figure out these last 2 games?
For me personally, I think we're just trying to figure out how to get back in rhythm. I keep saying that because we're not looking like the same team that we were earlier, and that's upsetting. And yeah, you're trying to find that with us again. We obviously have shown it, that fight, that hunger, but we look like a totally different team right now, and it's upsetting. So we got to hurry up and get back to what we were doing.
Why for that, Zach?
If I did, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Your finger on anything that you guys were playing so well in the first
If I
half.
could put my finger on it, we'll be fixing it. So hopefully we can we can find that hopefully we can find that.
Do you have enough time to fix it?
I mean, time is something everybody wants, man. I think we wish we had more time and more than just basketball. So it's that's something that you can't fight. We gotta hurry up and do it, and not hope and wish. So we got a certain amount of time left before it gets real. So I'm optimistic that we can be, because if I'm not, then what are we doing this for?
Mentioned the other day that he's taking it upon himself to kind of teach you what it's going to be like going to the playoffs. Anything specific that he shared with you in those couple days?
I mean, I don't think I appreciate Tristan. I think he's a very veteran guy, and we have some veteran guys that's been to places that I haven't been to before, and I try to get as much information as I can, but nobody's going to prepare you until you get that experience. It's just like life. So, I'm ready to, go at it 100%. I think obviously you guys know my confidence with, myself, but it's an experience I'm looking forward to. And, I just try to get as much knowledge as I can before going into it.
Impression of Pat and what you're seeing out of him so far in his return.
It looked great. Pat's skill set is big time for us because he can play so many different positions, and I think he's just starting to find his rhythm again out there. He's made some incredible moves and plays. We just need him to be aggressive and keep doing what he's doing.
Thanks, Zach.
That was Zach LaVine after a tough loss tonight. Listen, you're almost out of time. You're heading into the playoffs. There's not some crazy switch that I think is going to flip. Can teams get right versus bad teams? Yeah, but you're going into this playing 2 more playoff teams, right? You got Charlotte and Minnesota as your last 2 games. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going into this playing tough teams. It's not like you're going into this and saying, "Hey, we got easy teams on the other side of this. We got easy dubs on the other side of this." So you have to go into this game and go into every game coming at the end of this season trying to get yourself right. Now, this game versus the Celtics sucks, right? But I look at this as Billy Donovan absolutely taking his time in the second of a back-to-back. Like I said, you look at the minutes, not a lot of minutes played for anybody but DeMar. It's because you was getting clapped so early. It wasn't able to fight into it early. Wasn't able to get yourself into it early. But you got to figure out how you can get going early, right? You saw it quickly. You saw Kobe White got in there quick. What do we see? Maybe 4 or 5 minutes? Not even. Maybe 3 minutes before they put Kobe White into the game? You have to find a way where your bench is giving you that improvement. And you have to find shots that are good for you. Right now, the 3-point shot ain't a good shot for you. I get teams are giving it to you. There's a reason why. I get teams are giving you the open three-point shot. There's a reason why. That don't mean it's the good shot. It's the good shot if it's Zach LaVine out there. How many threes Derrick Jones take tonight? I think Derrick Jones had like 5 3-pointers tonight. How many threes he take? Derrick Jones Jr. 0 for 4 from the three-point line. At the top of the key. Corner three is different. Top of the key three-pointers. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to find ways to get your shot. You have to find ways to force your issue. Make teams play to you. You haven't been able to do that. And that's why you're having these issues. Like I said, like Billy said, when you struggle, what do you fall back on? The Bulls fall back on shooting threes and iso ball. They're not trying to fight through on the defensive end. They're not trying to fight through the screen. They're not trying to close out on the defenders, something that they actually did well in that Milwaukee game. Legitimately, like this is really a tale of two games, bro. Legitimately, in the Milwaukee game, they were literally a hot shooting quarter away from winning that game. Defensively, they actually played well defensively. On the flip side of that, in this game, you were knocking down shots in that second quarter. You showed no defensive effort. You showed no defensive intent. Like it's about doing it at a consistent basis and figuring out your identity. Right now, the Bulls don't have an identity. The first thing the Bulls need to do going into this playoffs, I think the most important thing the Bulls need to do going into this playoffs is figure out who they are. And that's what the playoffs does for you. Who are you really? What team are you really? Are you the team that's going to come out and fight to the last breath because you don't want to get eliminated? Are you the team that's going to come out versus these teams that's kicked your teeth in because you haven't been talented enough and fight your way through to find a dub? Are you that team? Or are you the team that's just, we're not as good as these guys, so we're going to lose? That's a big issue. So you got to figure that out, man. Next game up, Bulls take on Charlotte on Friday. It's a 7 o'clock start. We'll be live for that as well. Right now, Bulls 16 in pace of play. Charlotte is 5th. Bulls still 3rd in field goal percentage, actually. Charlotte 14th. But, I mean, listen, the front half of the season was so heavy. The front half of the season was so heavy with it, bro. Like, the drop-off has been ridiculous. Like, right now, we know the difference, right? The Bulls sit 4th in three-point percentage right now in the NBA. We know that's not how the second half of the season has gone. Charlotte is a team prone to turn over the ball. You might be able to work some things out of there. Might be able to do a good job with that. They sit 9th right now, 13 turnovers a game. And here's your biggest difference, bro. Offensive rating, Bulls are 11th. Charlotte right now is 9th. Defensive rating, Bulls are 21st, Charlotte's 24th. Find a way to get it done. Find a way to get it done. This team's infuriating, ain't it? This team's infuriating, ain't it? But hey, this is what we do. It's still going to be C Red Nation no matter what. 84 people, 38 likes. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. By the way, it looks like we're at 12-6. Now, the thing that I've learned is you got to let that mug ride out, right? You got to let that 12-6 ride out because the second I get on the other side of this, you know what I'm saying, 14 people unsubscribe real quick. You know what I'm saying? And then we back at 12-5. But right now we at 12-6. If that's the case, we'll be giving away 2 more spots on the next live call. So be in tune with that. Also, check out my video on the channel talking about Lonzo Ball. Could him missing this first playoffs be a positive for the Bulls in the future? Could him missing this first playoffs be a positive for the Bulls in the future? Check that out on the channel. Also, we're going to have a ton more content coming your way. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. As always, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Pat the Designer. Also, follow the channel on Twitter at the WC Breeze. Hey, yo, Chicago! Y'all stay safe out there, man. Bulls take the L. See y'all tomorrow.